So you still find yourself thinking about that old romantic relationship with somebody who hurt you. You know they weren't good for you and you know the relationship was chaotic, but for some reason you just can't seem to let go. You're not weak. You're not broken. But what you may be is trauma bonded. And if you have borderline personality disorder or you've been in a relationship with somebody with narcissistic traits, this cycle can feel almost impossible to escape. Today, we are not here to blame anyone. What we're here for is to understand what's really happening underneath that pain so you can finally break the pattern. A trauma bond is not about love. It's about emotional survival. You're not just attached to the person, you're addicted to this pattern. And how this pattern goes is they pull you in with love and intensity and infatuation and all the good stuff. And then it's too much for them and they withdraw. And maybe they criticize or they disappear or they shut down. And then you panic and suddenly you're chasing the high of feeling close again. That cycle creates a bond that feels like passion, but it's pain and it's wired into your nervous system. Not because you're weak and not because they're evil, but because both of you are trying to survive the only way you know how. When folks with BPD traits and folks with narcissistic traits get together, this combination can hit hard. People with BPD traits often feel their emotions with full body intensity. They can be on fire with emotion. Rejection doesn't just sting, it is devastating. And people with narcissistic traits are often protecting themselves by detaching when things get too vulnerable, too close. They're not trying to be cruel, they're guarding a very fragile sense of self. So here's what that cycle looks like. Let's put the folks with BPD traits over here and the folks with narcissistic traits over here. So the BPD traits person craves closeness. It feels safe. It feels really good. And the person with narcissistic traits craves admiration. Please acknowledge me as special. Do not notice my faults. And the person with BPD traits absolutely fears abandonment. It is like getting pushed off a cliff into a black hole, an abyss. And the person with narcissistic traits absolutely fears vulnerability. Please do not see me as anything other than special, better than the average person, wonderful. The person with BPD in a relationship can cling or panic. And the person with narcissistic traits can withdraw or pull back or become critical when a relationship becomes very close. And when this happens, the person with BPD traits emotionally floods. They are just overwhelmed. It's like a tsunami of emotion. On the other hand, the person with narcissistic traits detaches, steps back, becomes cold or critical. So, the important thing to remember here is that one person reaches out for safety and the other pulls away for protection. But my key point is that both are afraid. Now, when I'm saying that both people participating in the relationship are afraid, that doesn't mean run back to that person who hurt you, get back together, because it's just fear. What I am saying is that it may help you understand the cycle a little better and perhaps be able to recognize the personality types that may not be a great fit for you in future relationships. If this idea of a trauma bond already sounds kind of familiar, drop a heart in the comments. You are not alone. And sometimes just naming the pattern is the start of breaking it. So, what do you do when you realize you're in a trauma bonded relationship? Well, that's where the real healing work begins. And it takes tools, not just awareness. people are aware and still can't make changes. So in my next video, I'm going to break down exactly how to use and apply some DBT skills to this. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start kind of stabilizing and finding healthy relationships, I hope you'll subscribe so you can get a notification when that video comes out. Deserve love that doesn't feel like a battle for emotional survival. And the fact that you're watching this video, that means you're already waking up to the pattern. That is absolutely a wonderful first step. Understanding the trauma bond is important, but breaking it, that takes tools, and we'll get to that in the next video. And in the meantime, I would love to hear from you. What's been the hardest part of letting go? Drop a comment. No shame, no judgment. I look at all of them. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.